All right, what's going on, beautiful people? It's the North Shore 9 Postgame Show, powered by Primanti Brothers. I am Tyler. With me is my guy, Dougie Fresh. Doug, the Pirates run out of steam today. I don't know another way to put it, but they dropped this thing 11-5. How you doing today, Doug? It's Sunday. It's a nice day out. Aside from the Pirates, how we doing today?
We're good. We're good. We're fine.
We're fine. We're fine.
Listen, well, let's not get lost in that. We went 4-2 this week. We took 2 series from good teams. We do have a way of kind of putting the gray cloud into the silver lining as Pirates. But if we look at a little bigger picture, a 4-2 week, taking a series from the Dodgers, taking a series from the Twins is a good thing. Rowdy Tellez got some hits. Cruz seems to be heating up. The pitching mostly is still pretty good. So that's what I'm going to try to focus on rather than dwell on Mr. Heller and the 7-run bottom of the 10th. I don't even blame him. That's just a symptom of the biggest problem on this team. And our general manager doesn't care about winning.
Yeah. So we got a lot to get into today, Doug. Before we do that, let me give you guys the word from BetOnline here. BetOnline is your #1 source for the NBA and NHL playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even the live odds while games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. Don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. Doug, I've been in between on how angry I want to be today because you did mention it here. They took 2 or 3 from the Twins. Jared Jones on the mound today. And you know what? Let me get your opinion here on Jared Jones' start. We're going to get to the Ben Heller stuff and everything that transpired down the stretch. But let's start with Jared Jones, where we seem to always start here. Because I feel like this is going to lead me into my major complaint today. So I want to hear your opinion.
Jared Jones was fine today, right? 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 total. He did not have, he wasn't as sharp as we saw him earlier in the season, something that you had brought up, I think, 2 shows or 2 starts of his ago. But he's grinding. He seems to be learning on the job. I think we can put an end to the nonsense that Mitch Keller has to be our 3rd best starter. He's one of our top 2, starters, and he is settling into that role quite nicely. But I'm still pretty pleased from what I've been seeing from Jared Jones. Right, it's not the record setting and the whiffs and what it was earlier in the season, but he certainly hasn't looked bad. He's looked a little less than what he was, but again, if tell me what you thought he was going to be, come spring training or at the beginning of the season. I don't think anyone thought he'd be this good still, and he's still doing it, right? He's been around the league now. Some people have seen him. There's a book on him. There's tape on him. I like what I see from Jared Jones.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just talk about Jared Jones here for a minute, because early on it looked like he just mechanically, to me, it looked like he was struggling. And really the only reason I say that is because of body language from Jared Jones. You could tell at certain points that he was getting very frustrated with himself on his location, which to me is good. And it made me feel better watching him, because I don't feel like it's an injury issue with him, or maybe he just doesn't have it that day. It was more of something that mechanically he wasn't doing well. And I think we saw it in the second inning. There were a couple pitches that he missed arm side, and you saw him get very, very frustrated with himself. At one point, he got really mad at himself, and then that's when he seemed to lock in a lot more. And beyond that, he was really good after that. I know you look at the line, it's 5 innings. The swings and misses really weren't there. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. The walks really came early. 5 innings and 2 earned runs, was that what it ended up being? And we'll get to
it was 2 earned, right? Yeah.
But no complaints about him whatsoever. I like the ability to fix yourself mid-game, like I thought I was able to see today, where it just clicked with him in the second inning. Golly, the Pirates got screwed. How long is it going to take for this damn league to fix that?
Yeah.
Am I the only one that thought back to that game with A.J. Burnett on the mound where, what's his face? The Mark Reynolds fouled off a ball, and it was an obvious foul ball. It was, what did it say it was? Or no, he completely missed the ball. They said it was a foul ball, and then he homers the next time in 2015. That's where my mind went to. How have we not fixed that? That was 9 years ago.
I don't understand. I've always supported replay. Like I've always thought we should have had it. Let's have the human element. Why? I don't want more mistakes. I want less mistakes. So
that play right there is why replay exists.
Right. That's exactly it. There's an obvious thing that they missed, right? That was clearly, that's one of those, are conclusively proven, and we miss it and they score a run. And it turns out to be a difference in the game. And it's just, sorry, we can't review that. Why not? You have the cameras on that play, right?
Why? Seriously, why? Someone give me the reason you cannot do that.
Yeah, I don't understand the pick and choose of the replay stuff anyway. The rules are in place. You should be able to, put your little objection in and request the replay. And if, you lose your whatever it's called.
Your challenge.
Your challenge. Thank you very much. You lose your challenge. If you decide to lose your challenge on something stupid, you lose it on something stupid. But he wouldn't have lost his challenge on that play because it seems like everybody, on the planet, the players, knew what happened there, except the four umpires. Just awful.
That play right there is the reason that replay was implemented, to avoid calls like that.
Right.
And when I mentioned that Mark Reynolds play from 2015, that was 9 damn years ago. And that type of play happened again, and we still haven't fixed it. What are we doing? Instead, we're too worried about pop-up slides and whether he pops off the bag for a split second. Right. No, that split second he was off the bag and he held the tag. He's out. No, not the obvious play right in front of everybody in the stadium's face. Everybody's ears. Everybody hears it. Thump. That's not a glove. That's a bat.
Right. You should have been able to done that with your eyes closed. Like you didn't need to see it to be able to. You know what I'm saying? When the ball hits the bat, it makes a distinct sound. Right? He could have been looking. He should have been looking.
Are very different. Last I checked.
Right. It's so odd that he missed it. They all missed it, and it's just like you said. These are the easy fixes. This is what it's there for, and and again, it's like okay, it's a first inning play, but guess what? It had a 9 inning implication there. So.
Yeah, very much so, and. We'll keep rolling with pitching here. Jared Jones, he gets pulled early. He only makes it 5 innings. He's on literally normal rest here. 4 days rest.
Right. It's the second time he's done that. Right.
So the Pirates, in all their infinite wisdom, decide that today, the day after that, we have a bullpen day.
Bullpen game, right.
We had a bullpen game yesterday where the Pirates legitimately burnt all of their arms.
I
And
do have
all
a
of their
question for you.
go ahead.
Yeah. So we have a minor league team in Indianapolis, right?
Yep, they
And
exist.
we have one in Altoona, and you're allowed to bring players from those still, I don't know, maybe things have changed, but you're allowed to bring players from those teams. You can swap out, and I know other teams frequently do that after like a bullpen game or after the bullpen has gotten severely taxed over a series or something. They'll just swap a guy out. Maybe you'll put somebody on the 10-day DL or IL, whatever. It seems like there was. Okay, Jim says Indy has 0 pitchers. What about Altoona? What about I don't know, but you would think they could have brought somebody up. And at least that could have been an option. Or again, you could have played this out differently. And I heard, I was listening to the radio at the beginning, and Bob Walk and Brown were saying that Shelton had made it clear that this was going to be a short stint for Jared Jones. So if you knew that as well, right? Didn't you need some sort of reinforcements, right? Somebody, something, somehow, some way. Maybe you shouldn't have started Nashcraft a couple of days and brought him up for the bullpen. I don't know. I'm not as smart as Ben Cherington, and he reminds me all the time. But man, it's just like it. If we were just going to forfeit, right? Couldn't we have forfeited earlier? And and so I didn't have to watch that 10th inning.
Yeah. You bring up a couple good points there. Most professional franchises are going to call up people today. And Jim mentions that there's not really anything in AAA. It would be really weird if this team would have maybe a Rowanzi Contreras or a Josh Fleming or, a couple guys that got sent to pasture in order to keep some of the guys that we saw today.
Right.
Yesterday.
Yeah, we DFA'd Rowanzi so we can keep Heller.
Not necessarily, but like in a vacuum, pretty much like Rowanzi is gone here. And now you're stuck with Ben Heller. It's hard to really look at the planning of this from me and see how this was going to work out. Because really, when they DFA Rowanzi, it wasn't a necessary move. They had other options available there. They could have went other avenues with that and held on to him, and it was a strange move from a team that really, really has just hung on to all the depth that they can hang on to for the
Remember
past
how
5
long we
years.
held on to Anthony Alford and
they hang on to guys until they are just
man.
completely burnt. And then there was just over the last month, and just some strange things to the point where today it all comes. The Roosters come to hatch here, where you've got nothing left, and some guy named Ben Heller's throwing the 10th inning, and he's just throwing BP out there.
Yeah, he hit 3 batters. Just right. Had no business pitching in a major league game at that point.
Yeah, and really, that's what I'm getting down to here is that I'm trying not to complain about the things that happen really over the past week, because yesterday bullpen game, you can argue that left to right, and I hate bullpen games, but it's a win. They got a win out of it.
Right. That was the perfect execution of the bullpen game, whether you like them or not. Right.
Yeah, I can't complain about getting a win out of that. It's the fact that you decided that we're going to do that there. And then we got Jared Jones coming up the next day, who we're changing our minds every single week on what we're doing with this kid. One day we're going to go 6 days or 5 days rest with him. We're going to shorten him. And then the next day we're going to let him throw 110 pitches. I don't know what the hell we're doing with Jared Jones here. Someone please be consistent with what our plan is.
Right.
That's all I'm asking. Yeah. We have a plan and stick with it.
Right. Again, we don't want to waste this kid. Right. And it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't seem like we have a plan. We have today's plan, but it doesn't match what his last start's plan or is what his next start plan will be. This team is so odd to me. This is not a team that can afford to give games away. Right. No. The Dodgers can do that. Right. The Dodgers can say, hey, we're just going to play out.
Let me stop you right there. Real quick. This is not a team that can afford to give Jared Jones starts away. And they did that today.
Exactly.
They waved the white towel on a Jared Jones start.
Yeah.
On a day where you were keeping
to win
him
every game he's pitched. Right.
and you're keeping him on a short pitch count today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You waved the white flag on this start.
Right.
You could have moved him back a day, move everyone back a day. You could have called someone up and then maybe did a bullpen day today. There were options available that they had. They decided today with Jared Jones, they're waving the white flag.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so frustrating. It's just, I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, again, this management team, there's just no consistency to anything they do. You almost expect them to bring in Bednar and pitch him for 3 innings, because like, but suddenly this game's important. But yesterday's game was not important, and tomorrow's game was not important, but suddenly this game became important. I mean, it just, they don't seem to care about winning all that much. It keeps coming up. They don't look like they're focused on winning today's game. They're still playing for some sort of future. And I don't know when that future becomes a present. I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
I just think there's maybe not, because there are games in Major League Baseball where it's very apparent that teams are just, they don't care if they win or lose.
Right.
It seems like with the Pirates, there's too many games where at no point they're trying to win. With some other teams, I feel like they don't care if they win or lose, but if we're in the 6th, 7th inning and it's a winnable game, they're going to put themselves in position to win that game.
Right. They may throw out their 7th starter at the start of the game, but if suddenly he pitches 4 good innings, they're like, wait, we might get this one. So let's go back into, and again, they tend to be teams that consistently win and can, over a long season can afford to just, all right, we're not going to go maximum effort on this one. If for the bigger picture, the longer haul, to give a guy a rest, that sort of thing. But again, we're a team that can't, we're hoping to be 500, right? I don't know what old Ben's metrics have us at. Are we a 4th place team? Are we a 3rd place team? I don't know, but he certainly, Travis Williams and all of them did a little talking about we want to win this year. You can't tell by roster decisions. You can't tell by in-game decisions. Talk, a lot of talk, a lot of word salad, but not a lot of backing up that talk.
Yeah. So Ben Heller, who I think tomorrow by noon, he's going to be gone. Sorry, Ben Heller. He threw too many pitches today at the end.
Yeah.
I almost felt bad for him at one point.
Yeah. There should have been a mercy killing at some point. Just get him out of there now.
He doesn't belong in the majors. The poor guy he doesn't have it. He's throwing BP.
Yes, but we've had this conversation about people, how many times have we there's no way Rowdy survives Monday. It's an off day. And, so
the thing is Ben Heller's not going to be able to be used for a while now. So I think he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Now that would make, again, on a normal organization committed to winning, they would say, look, this guy can't pitch for a week. So we're going to send him down and bring somebody up. But again, I don't know what our general manager might do in this circumstance. He might he might say, hey, Heller threw a lot of pitches. He worked some stuff out. You saw he got that last guy out. He's on the verge of a breakthrough.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's gone tomorrow morning. Well, maybe not tomorrow morning because they might wait till Tuesday morning because they wait until the day of a game for a roster position.
Yes.
But Ben Heller gives up a lot of runs in the 10th. Really, I have nothing to talk about with that because it was just bad.
No.
He hit everybody. And if he did, he was right in the middle of the plate.
Yeah, right.
It was either middle of back or middle of plate.
Right. Yeah. There's nothing there. It was just, it was ugly. There was no recovery. It was over. You bring him in with a man on second, no outs. That's, man.
he doesn't. Poor guy doesn't belong. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's very hard to make it in Major League Baseball.
It's why I'm not that mad at him. He should not have been in that position. He shouldn't have been in a position where Shelton could use him. He was. This is I'm sure he did the best he could.
Yeah, he tried. So Pirates dropped this one by a lot. Let's move on to the hitting here, because the Pirates did show a little bit of life offensively, and I thought we were going to give up sandwiches for a minute, and then all of a sudden it's remained tied. And as the game got further and the bullpen got slimmer, it was pretty apparent that we were not going to be giving out sandwiches today. Offensively, though, do we have to talk about Rowdy Tellez? I feel like we have to talk about Rowdy Tellez.
How can we not? I mean, what was it? 2 hits today, a double. He scored a run.
Walked. I think he walked, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah, he did. I mean, yesterday he either drove in or scored all of the runs.
Yeah, he went 2 for 3 with a walk.
And then he scored the first run of today. So, he had a streak of, of being responsible for 5 runs there. It's good for him. Good for him. I mean, we're not going to have the is Rowdy back conversation. It could be back from where, but take advantage of it. Ride it. If he's hot, let's hope he stays hot. Good for him. And,
Doug, you know what I'm afraid of? We're going to end up with Rowdy Tellez the rest of the year because he had a 2-week hot streak.
Oh, in June. I mean, but that's right.
We're stuck with him now.
Yeah, that applies to Sawinski. Well, Sawinski hasn't had a hot streak yet, but we're still, running him out. So, yeah. I
mean, there was something with Rowdy today where against the shift, he went the other way and he hit the ball pretty hard. Yeah. So there obviously was like something that's clicked with Rowdy lately, or maybe he's just getting pitched a little bit differently that it's working out for him, or maybe just he's seen enough at bats where he's at the point that he's going to run into a hot streak, because guys do that.
No, especially when their cold streak is, his cold streak wasn't him hitting 240 with a 690 OPS. His cold streak was, sort of epic.
Was the worst player in baseball.
Yeah.
So Rowdy,
close, right?
Yeah, Rowdy on base 3 times. Really good games by quite a few guys today.
Quite a few guys.
Connor Joe tripled, had 2 hits. Yeah. Gonzalez 2 hits. Triolo collected a hit. 10 hits altogether today.
Right.
Connor Joe with 2 RBIs today, mainly off that triple. He continues to hit the ball well.
Yeah, it's even when he cools down, it's just like a regular, good professional baseball player. Yes, he goes into a 3 or 4 day slump and then comes right back out of it, and we're just so used to seeing 6-week slumps in a 4-game hot streak that we don't so, but him, Gonzalez, Reynolds had a hit, I think. Right. Yeah. Reynolds knocked in a
Reynolds
run.
had a hit. Cruz had 2. I mean, they had 10 hits today, 5 walks. Really, 4 runs, they should have scored more.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get a few more out of that. But, I mean, again, when you score, 5 runs, I mean, let's say even 4 runs, you have a pretty reasonable – and you score 4 runs and you got Jared Jones pitching. That's a pretty good recipe for success, So, perhaps if we had, I don't know, a few more other major league players, it'd be great. But this is the team we have. This is the team we have to discuss on a post-game show.
Yeah, the one thing to mention with Connor Joe there, just to go back to him, we can't have this guy playing left field, man. Left field in PNC Park is a tough gig. It really is. There's a reason Starling Marte had to take that spot for so long, because it's really a second center field.
Right, it's absolutely. Yeah, there was no reason to rush McCutchen out of center field because Marte was, playing the other center field. So, it's, the bat will play. I often disagree with that, right? Connor Joe in right field is fine. Connor Joe at first base is fine. Again, you're just putting him in a position where he's most likely not going to, have a great outing there. The ball.
He's going to give you what he has.
Yeah.
It's just that he's not talented enough to play that position.
No, right. It's another one of those things. I don't blame him. he did not write his name in and said, "Look, I'm playing left field or I'm out of here." Right? So he's been doing great. He is improved since he got here. I love everything about the Connor Joe experience right now. And again, the limitations of this roster forced him into playing left field today.
Yeah. And aside from that, let's just touch on Henry Davis real quick. He's been back for a little while. He still looks terrible at the plate.
Everything looks bad.
I don't know what the answer is with him right now. I don't know the answer with him.
And there's no point sending to AAA. I know what's going to happen if we send him to AAA tomorrow. He's going to hit 400. He's going to look like Babe Ruth. And then we'll bring him back up, and he'll get a hit in the first or second game, and we'll all have a nice sigh of relief. And then he won't hit again. He looks terrible. His stance looks awful. His swing looks awful. He's too early. He's too late. He's fooled. It's just dreadful. I don't understand it. He clearly has hitting talent. He's a hard worker, and his intensity, I don't think is helping him at this point. He needs to kind of just relax, but I don't know how, at one point he was, they showed him, behind the plate, and I'm like, he's got to be thinking about how terrible he's doing at the plate. Like, how could he not? So,
yeah. Baseball is a really simple game if you really break it down here.
All right.
Throw out all the outlying numbers. Throw the underlying numbers out. If you're able to get ahead of hitters as a pitcher, and if you're able to get into good counts as a hitter, you're going to be more successful. We saw it today with Jared Jones early on. He wasn't able to get ahead of hitters because his control was terrible. We saw him early in the year. He was 1 to 2 strikes on everybody. There's a reason he's really hard to hit. When you're ahead of guys as a pitcher, you're really hard to hit. When you're a hitter and you're in a 2-0 count or 2-1 count, it's really hard to pitch to you.
Yeah.
When
Henry Davis you a strike, right?
He's not able to jump on that first pitch fastball, because when you're not on time with a fastball, you're not going to be on time with anything else. And I think with Henry Davis, he's gotten to a point where last year, the down and away slider really just ate him up and he wasn't able to touch it. So to the point where now we're seeing him kind of staying back to a point where he's trying to stay on that down and away slider, and he's not able to hit a fastball. When you're able to be on time with a fastball, everything else works out. When you're able to get ahead of hitters as a pitcher, everything works out. When you're able to be ahead as a hitter, things work out. It's still a simple game. Get ahead, and you're putting yourself in a much better shot to win.
Right. You're right. It is. It's a very simple plan, right? If you're a pitcher, throw strikes. If you're a hitter, swing at strikes, right?
And eventually the league does adjust. Like we're seeing it with Jared Jones. They jump on first pitches. We saw it. I think it was the Giants series way back in his first time he got beat up a little bit. They jumped on him early, and then you have to make an adjustment.
And his next start, he came out a little differently, right?
Exactly.
He wasn't. Yeah,
you have to be able to make that adjustment to the point where you can get back to being ahead in counts. Being ahead in counts is what it comes down to, because that's your best shot to succeed here.
That's where you're going to get a strike, right? That's where you're going to, you know that you're going to get something that's in the hitting zone, right? It might not be the pitch you handle best, but you have a much better chance, right? You have a much better chance for a mistake. You have a much better chance, to get something you can get the bat on. And right, when you're 0-2, and you swung at something way outside and something in the dirt, the pitcher can do anything he wants. Right. You're just outgunned in that circumstance. And it's, Henry's making it easy on the pitchers right now.
Yeah. I really think we're at a point with Henry Davis where he just needs a different voice. Someone else has to get through to him, because whatever they're telling him is not working. And I really think he's just lost at the plate right now.
That's what it seems like.
You go to AAA and it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just got too much talent. He's got too much talent. He's going to go to AAA, and he's just going to. And I get the feeling that he feels a little more confident there, right? And then he's a little more at ease, and he gets there and he starts crushing it. And he comes up here and he puts that internal pressure on himself. And I mean, in no time, he just looks lost, Yeah.
It's, you know what? 2 out of 3, though.
Yeah.
Off day tomorrow.
And who was it? Someone kept telling us, CL kept saying that we should not celebrate. I'm not celebrating that we lost today. No, it was Craig.
I don't think I've celebrated a darn thing.
Yeah. No, but you do have to. I mean, a 4-2 week isn't bad. The way we lost both games was terrible. But whatever. We've got. We're gonna go play St. Louis for the first time all year. I'm so confused. It's like June. I don't know. What's today? June 9th? It's June 9th. We haven't played the Cardinals yet. Yeah. It's crazy.
That is weird.
Haven't played the Cardinals or the Reds.
It's weird.
I mean, I know.
Yeah, that's weird.
We used to play 19 games and we don't anymore, but it still seems weird that we have not played.
No, that is weird. I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah.
But 2 out of 3. Doug, you're ready to get out of here since we can't give out Sammys.
Yeah, we can't give out sandwiches. I didn't even want to come. I want to give the people sandwiches.
I know, right?
When they give me a rough time about my Keller take. But
well, I see you though. And what do we got? 13 days?
Yeah, exactly. 13 days, right? 13
days. I get to see Dougie fresh, baby.
Yes, yeah. We're gonna be in a parking lot, hanging out like degenerates. I love it.
I'm just waiting on the crowd surrounding our guy, Doug.
Yeah,
you're gonna be holding court.
People are gonna be like, "Who is that old guy?" God,
you're gonna be there.
He looks even old. No. Sax Boy Billy going to be there. He'll be the star of the show.
Is Sax Boy coming?
I'm sure he is.
We got to make sure he's coming.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw him last, he said he was coming, and he goes to every Pirates game.
Yeah, we got to make sure he goes up.
Yeah, where else would he be? He's great. I had a great time hanging out with him at the game.
Well, the tailgate is going to be the 22nd of this month, Andrew McCutcheon bobblehead night. I'll be there. Doug will be there. Donardo, Jim, Ryan, Cody. Is Neil coming in?
Neil? I think Neil's coming.
I think Neil is coming in.
We are providing him additional security.
Yeah.
And if Hayden
dreamy eyes are going to be tough to keep people off him.
If Hayden is in the chat, I apologize for not being Neil today. So it's just scheduling out of my control. So
yeah, these eyes aren't dreamy enough.
Yeah.
All right, Doug, let's get out of here.
Let's go. We'll see you guys Tuesday after the St. Louis Cardinals game.
Yep, and then we'll
Paul
see
Skeens
you
Day. It'll be Paul Skeens
eventually.
Day.
Here, we'll see you on the 22nd. Make sure to
stop
22nd
live.
Come join us.
Come on out. It's going to be fun.
I'll be drinking some beers. Don't know how many yet because I haven't decided if I'm staying all night, but we'll figure that out. I'll be there though.
Right. Yeah,
Doug will be way more importantly.
All
right, let's get out of here, Doug.
All
Pirates dropped
Thanks,
this
guys.
111 to little. We're out of here. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.